because I think you're saying that, and it's making me think about change and how life just changes, man. Like, do you remember when we first met, man, where we both were in our lives?
It was so different.
It was so different.
so
Like,
different.
yeah, I mean, it's great because the relationship is still the same, which I appreciate you for. But literally, our whole life, everything else was so different. Even though we thought we'd reached a level of clarity and understanding about ourselves, because I know we
Yeah.
should talk about that. It's like we're so enlightened, bro. We know everything. We knew nothing, and this was only 2 years ago.
Yeah, mate, we thought we knew the fucking woods, but the reality is we were like 2 feet in the forest.
And then we just realized in the forest and realizing, oh
Yeah.
shit, we're in an Amazon.
Yeah.
But the idea is like, how do you like go through change? Obviously, you've been going through a lot of change, right? And it's like, it's difficult because, like you're saying, it's like it's this thing that's transient. But to recognize that, but also actually go through it. What is that for you? What are some of the ways that you can actually, like, even though you recognize the change is transient, when you're actually going through it and dealing with the stuff you're dealing with, like, what helps you get through that?
Honestly, man, you just gotta let go. Genuinely, like it's the hardest thing to do. It is the hardest thing to do. You just gotta let go. Like I struggled desperately with my mom and everything. Like, I didn't want her to die, desperately not. But you just gotta let it go. You know, I mean, even afterwards, like, I then proceeded to basically scorched earth the rest of my life. But even that is like, I knew, man, I couldn't resist this change anymore. Like, I spent so much time fighting the stream, and ultimately it just made me tired and sad. Like, that is the reality of it, is like, you just knock yourself out because you become too tired to deal with your life. But you know, like, I stopped resisting the change. I accepted the fact that ultimately this was what had to be done. I didn't like it.
Did it make it easier though?
The action, no, but the after effect, yes. Because here's the thing, man. Like, I could have continued to resist this for however much longer, but the question would be, well, what would I be left with afterwards? You know, like, there's only so long you can deny reality. I mean, it's that sounds extremely, like, dark. I don't mean it to. I just mean, like, because it's not explicitly a negative thing. It doesn't have to be. Like,
you mean change, right?
Yeah, change.
Yeah,
like, it's because obviously, like, I've gone through pretty violent change recently. Like, my mum died. I'm here now. But it's like, man, like, you just have to accept it. You just have to accept that this is just how it has to be, and that doesn't have to be a bad thing. Like, I didn't want my mum to die, but ultimately, having seen how much she was suffering towards the end, I'm happy for her. Like, you know, she got to go back to the place she grew up. She saw everybody she basically ever knew right before she died. She saw her daughter get married to, like, the love of her life. Like, bro, she was living it up. And I think she knew too. She knew that, like, that was it. She did everything she had to. It was time to go. And that's okay. Like, you know, I'd kill for her to be here, but it's okay.
I really, but I completely agree with you, man. I completely agree with you, and I'm definitely getting exactly what you're saying. Like, it's like,
Anyway, like, that's some real shit. But, like, what I mean by that ultimately is that, like, look, it's hard. It is. Like, shit gets hard. It's like, change can be rough.
yeah,
It can be.
yeah,
But how you deal with it
yeah,
prevents it from becoming, like, not all encompassing. That's
I know.
perhaps the wrong word. It's more like
definitive.
Yeah, no, that puts too negative a spin on it.
But no, that's the no. The thing is, it's a nuance. It's a whatever word. And I know
Yeah,
what you're trying to say. As in,
yeah,
like it doesn't stay. It doesn't become
yeah.
a
You have to
thing
move
where
with it, basically. Like,
yeah.
and you know, I spent 2 years resisting the currents of my life. I did. But when I was ready, I let go, and sure enough, the current is carrying me away.
It's
Like,
beautiful.
because that's how it should be. Like, because
Yeah.
I mean, what else was I gonna do? I would have drowned.
Yeah.
I would have drowned. Like, I couldn't stay there, and that's okay. You know, it's like, because it is okay, and it is a good thing. Ultimately, it is a good thing. Like, and you know, really, what we're all left with now, like me and my siblings and my dad, is like we're left with the rest of our lives, which is, at first I was horrified by that idea, genuinely horrified. Like, I could not fucking at all imagine the idea of living the rest of my life without my mum. But it will be okay. You know, it won't be the same. It will never be the same. But
It's going to be okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that it won't ever be the same, I mean, well, yeah. Like,
Yeah.
because she was a special person. Like, of course it wouldn't be the same afterwards.
Yeah, the pain is a recognition of how much it meant to you.
Exactly. Like, you know, death is a tricky concept, especially in the West, I think. Especially with, like, you know, just how everybody treats it in the West. Look, it's hard. Being the people who are still here, it's hard. But I think that when all was said and done, you know, like, I try to look at, I suppose, the end of my life with the hope that I will kind of look at it, as I'm sure everybody does, but I'll be able to look back and be like, yeah, man, shit, I lived the fuck out of my life. I know my mum thought that, so she probably didn't regret anything, you know? I mean, gone too soon, yeah, but what is too soon, you know? I mean, I have no idea how long I'll be here for. What if I'm gone tomorrow? Like, you never know. Not that I think I will be, but, like, it's the crazy happenstance. But
Yeah.
if I go tomorrow, I mean, shit, you know what? Like, if those are the last things I ever did, cool.
So you're saying your perspective on death has changed a bit.
Yeah, I'm glad I died without trying to resist the change that was coming. If that's how I feel about it. But what I mean is, like, I think ultimately that's how my mum felt. And ultimately that's the reality of change. Like, death is the greatest change we can face. That's why I brought my mum up in the first place. I probably should have mentioned that in the beginning instead of just going on a really depressing
What do you
tangent.
mean? Bro,
But
me.
I know.
What are you talking
It's also
about?
your viewers.
Fuck that, it's me. Yeah, sorry, no.
But damn, guys, you heard it here first,
I
man.
mean, it's a conversation. We're here together. Like they just get to view and an opinion. You know?
Jeff, fuck them head. I understand. The Jeff head himself, he says so.
Fuck them kids.
I agree. I fuck them kids, but
no, I don't mean that. I mean it as a meme.
nah, you
I
said
love
that.
kids.
You said nah.
How many times have I tried to argue this with you? Like, yo, bro, I want to see them little ones. I want to get to pick little Kieran up, but like, I fucking love you. Hopefully,
What are you trying to say, bro?
to God, it's gonna happen.
You trying to be confessing something here?
I'm saying I hope you have a kid. Like, how bad is that to say?
That's disturbing. I don't want a child, Jeff. Horrifying,
That's
fellas.
fine. That's fine. That's fine.
Um,
That's fine. You can say that. You can say it if you want. You can say it if you want. Here's
Yeah.
a question. Here's a question. Sorry, I
Alright.
completely forgot
No,
to
no,
ask some
no, no,
questions.
no.
Mate, first off, thank you. Honestly, that was amazing. The thing I'm struggling to understand, right? I think the idea is the reason why I'm kind of like bringing all these up and like kind of questioning these ideas, right? Because I'm struggling to understand what happens next. Like in terms of literature, in terms of what it represents, in terms of like books that we grew up on, and writers and all these things, we're moving into a different era where we're consuming content differently, and the ideas and ways of self-expression is different. It's more video form. Not to say that the written form will ever go away, but in terms of the audience and like almost if it's an attention economy, then how do you grab the attention of the people? Obviously, create incredible work, but the question I'm asking in a long way It's how do you, a, what do you think literature and the idea of writing and all that is going, you know, and also how do you make sure that you adapt to that so you can stay ahead of the game?